Hey, I'm Matt Hudgens, and he's Dave Mulvaney, and this is Profitability MD. Dave, how you doing today, buddy?
Fantastic, Matt. How are you?
Life is good, man. Life is really good.
Episode 52. We are at the 1 year mark, and we never missed a week.
1 year mark. That's pretty impressive, actually. That's really impressive.
If there's one thing that anybody who watches this now or in the future, if there's one thing you can learn, if you commit to do something, do it.
Yeah. Consistency.
That's what we did 52 weeks ago. 1 year ago today, we decided we're going to do a podcast, and here we are. So
it's been going pretty good. All right. Episode 52. Here we go. 8 questions every business owner should ask themselves. Okay. 8 questions every business owner should ask themselves. And I'll put on there ... every 90 days.
You know, and I like the every 90-day thing. And I listened to a podcast by Garrett J. White. And one of the things he always says is the quality of your life will be determined by the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. And
that's good. Yeah.
That's what we're talking about right now is 8 really good questions that can not only drive your goal setting, but drive you to a result, a desirable result in your life. So Matt wrote this on his blog or on LinkedIn, a really good post. He's at Matt Hutchins on LinkedIn, or Matthew Hutchins on LinkedIn, and I recommend you read the post. But
we'll put a link on here in the thing as well. All right, so let's start off. So I got the 8 questions, and of course we can add to these questions. I mean, there's a million questions. I was just trying to boil them down so we could add or subtract or however you want to say it. So the first thing I say is, what were my 90-day goals? So you take an annual goal. What's my goal for the year? Divide by 4, and it makes it more manageable. So you're trying to make $400,000. That's $100,000 a quarter. Maybe that's $33,000 a month, right? So I typically shoot for 3 main goals every 90 days. Anything more than that is a bonus. So I would have said at the beginning of the quarter, I would have said, my goal is $300,000 or whatever, $100,000 this quarter. How am I going to get there? And that would be question number 2. Did I meet those goals, right? Why or why not? Give me the top 3 reasons. And here's where we've talked about this before. So we got our goals, our 90-day goals. Number 2, did I meet those goals? Why or why not? The top 3 reasons. What worked? What didn't work? And here's what I say, just the facts, please. Just the facts. We business owners tend to be too hard on ourselves. Instead, we should be building up our confidence. It's all about confidence. So we're going to have a million excuses why we didn't make the goals, right? And we can all tell ourselves, I think Tony Robbins talks about your quality of life is the quality of stories you tell yourself, right?
Exactly.
So we're not looking for the stories. Dan Sullivan talks about it all begins with the truth. You got to tell yourself the truth.
Yes. So, the truth is so, I'm not going to say it the way another speaker I've heard say it, but you got to stop lying to yourself.
Right.
And so, and I'm going to use a personal example. Okay. So, when I set goals, I set them in mind, body, spirit, relationships, money. I set goals in those different areas, including relaxation. Well, I can't get to the end of the year and be eating like a pig. And because the only way, what I mean by that, start the chocolate chip cookies come around, the Christmas cookies come around, all that. And I've still got to remain honest with myself about those goals. Because
right.
I can't eat 15 cookies and think that I'm going to stay on track, even though I'm still exercising. The honesty in what you tell yourself, that those stories you tell yourself, it goes 100% into goal setting. Because the only way you don't hit your goals is because you don't believe you can get them. They're not real enough to you exactly. But B, you have to lie to yourself on the reasons why you're not getting them.
Yeah. And I use that exact same parallel myself. So I started this quarter doing the 75 hard, which is that little workout, and I lost by 10 pounds. My goal was to lose 10 pounds. I lost 10 pounds in 5 weeks, and then I slacked off, right? So the what worked, hey, I lost my 10 pounds in 5 or 6 weeks. What didn't work was I kind of slacked off. I kind of reached my goal, right? Maybe shame on me. I should have had a 20-pound goal, right? And so I slacked off and I maintained, so I'm fine. I maintained, ate a little bit over Thanksgiving, lost a little bit since then. Christmas is coming up, right? So I'm looking at that as my goal coming forward to be, all right, so I want to lose another 10 pounds. What worked? Well, when I stick to the plan, it actually works. The 75 hard has 5 rules. If I do the 5 rules, I lose weight, right? But I also know now that once I reach the goal, I'm probably going to slack off. But maybe that's okay, right? Maybe that's the adjustment is, hey, if I lose the 10 pounds next quarter, right, that's fine. That'll be a total of 20 pounds. Unless it'll be okay. I don't have to keep, do you see what I'm saying? I don't have to drive myself into the ground like, oh my God, you didn't stick to it for 75 days. Just the facts, please. I lost my 10. That was a great goal. I got it accomplished. I didn't stick to it the whole time, but I did a pretty good job of maintaining it. So that's another positive. What am I going to do next quarter? Well, I'm going to start off doing the whole thing again. And then probably when I get to my 10 pounds, I'll slack off again, except now I know that in advance. And I think that's okay.
But you did 2 things there. First of all, you set a goal and you accomplished it. You know, there's about 95% of the people on the planet don't actually ever do that. Okay, so you accomplished it, and then you were able to slack off, but yet you maintained it. And this tells me, or would tell anybody, for those of us would be goal achievers, you didn't set your goal high enough. That's
right.
You didn't really have to change, but still losing 10 pounds is a big deal because you're not an overweight person.
Right.
You never be overweight. So I'm just saying that was a big accomplishment. So I don't want to downplay the fact that you losing 10 pounds wasn't a big deal, because it was, because you already exercised, you already ate pretty well.
But it's don't lie to yourself and say, oh, whatever. The fact is, I slacked off, and that's why it was, it is what it is, right? So, all right, number 3, and I love this part. What opportunities are right in front of me? And so if I had the time, the money, and resources, intuitively the very thing you're not doing and what would catapult your business: lead generation, follow-up, implementation, ask for a mentor, right? So I have this belief, and it's, we know what we should be doing. We know what opportunities are right in front of us. And we're limiting ourselves. Maybe we don't have the time, the money, or the resources to do that. But the odds are you know what you should be doing to be successful.
Yeah. What would you do if there was no cost in the opportunity? Because every single opportunity has cost. So if the opportunity is big enough, then there is no cost. It's just the return on investment, because it goes from cost to an investment. And that's where you got to look at, okay, what opportunities, are right in front of me? What are the big ones staring me in the face? And I don't know if we haven't talked about it, but I have tons and tons, and I mean tons, hundreds of thousands of dollars of inventory in my warehouse that has been there for a while.
Good example. Yeah.
Okay. What was staring me in the face was a lot of that stuff is from a previous business, and
right.
It's all new stuff, but it wasn't making me any money. So
right.
It was, okay, I'm going to take a week and I'm going to get all this stuff online. And
that's a great opportunity. That's something you could have been, should have been doing. Right. And now you do it, and money's coming in.
Yes, it was tedious. So I kept putting it off and I kept putting it off. But to be honest with myself, I had to say, okay, this glaring opportunities right in front of me. I could probably pocket 6 figures in the next 90 to 120 days if I will just roll up my sleeves and do this.
Right. That's a great example, right? I'll use other examples we talk about would be following up with past leads, right? Sometimes we eventually got tired of calling the guy back, right? So we could follow up with past leads. We know that if I have the time to follow up, I should talk to Jamie. I talked to him, 6 months ago. I haven't circled back, right? I should talk to my referral sources more often, right? There are things that we know we should be doing if we had the time, money, and resources to do that, right? So here is just saying, I know you know what you should be doing. Just write a couple of them out, top 3, 4, 5, and then we'll prioritize them later. Because the next one goes down to number 4, says, who could help me if I would only ask? Is there a coach? The next level, right? So people usually hire us. You and I have talked about this before for 3 reasons. They can't get there on their own. They want to get there faster. They want to use a proven system and have guidance from someone who's actually done it, right? Yeah. So when you go back and say, number 3, what are the opportunities sitting right in front of my face? You might think, who could help me do this, right? Who could help me do this? And it could be somebody above you, like a mentor or a coach. It could be somebody below you. Dan Sullivan and Dean Jackson talk about who, not how, right? Who could put your inventory online to sell it for you, right? And there could be, so that's somebody below you, right? You could hire an assistant, or maybe there's an assistant.
I hired 3 people, by the way, just to clarify that.
Yeah.
3 different people on 3 different occasions to do that. And none of them could accomplish it because the products themselves are of a very technical nature. Amazon, the store, is very complex when you're using name brand products in a very, what do they call it? They call it branding protection. So some companies don't allow you to just list their products online on Amazon.
Right.
So there are.
You're repeating my whole story here. The point is there's always a who that can help you do something.
Well, that's my point. How did I get to the who? That's where I was going. Sorry.
Okay.
How did I get to the who? Well, I went to the place where I actually, believe it or not, I actually watched some of Amazon's training videos, and they told me how to do it.
Oh, see, there you go.
I went to the who.
You went to the who, Amazon themselves.
I'm trying to sell my stuff on your platform. I'm like, I wonder if they have any training videos.
Yeah, there you go.
I actually watched the online videos they had. So that's was perfect. My point, is that who could help me at that time? It was the person who I needed help, who I wanted to use them technically so that I could become their customer. Yeah. So this is didn't Dan Sullivan call it your 100 top 20 farm club and your top 100 farm club?
That is a term. That's usually your resources for business.
But the reason I'm bringing this up is because your farm club, meaning these are people you want to sell to.
Do business with, right?
In many cases, if you will reach out to them for their expertise, hey, do you know anybody in this? Or hey, as long as you know them one-on-one, it opens a communication path. And you can build rapport when you are not trying to sell to them. You're actually asking for their expertise or even advice. It'd be better to say advice because people will charge for their expertise, but
right. That's what I'm saying. This whole thing can be above or below you, right? So you could find a who that could do some of those things that I know that if I had the time and resources, I could be doing, right? You could find a who that does something so it frees up your time to do those things you should be doing. So we could have somebody that we got rid of some of the stuff that I shouldn't be doing. Remember, we call it the C activities because I need to do my A+ activities, right? It could be somebody above you, the mentor, the coach. It could be a referral source, right? Who can I team up with that is doing something with my existing clients that would be beneficial, right? I think that's kind of my goal this year is instead of doing it myself, team up with people to help me do it, right? 100% of nothing or 50% of something, right? The whole concept of we could put together win-win relationships, joint ventures, whatever you want to call those, that are going to be, well, we didn't have to do it all ourselves. We could actually just do the stuff we're really good at, and they could do the stuff they're really good at, and we both benefit, right?
Well, technically, this is a joint venture that you and I are doing. And we kind of figured our way through it, and now we're at 52, but this is a joint venture.
Right. Exactly right. Sure. Number 5. So this is another one talking about telling the truth. Did I do everything I could to make the rest of my year the way I want it to be? Right. And so that's where it's about the little things. Am I doing the little things, the daily activities? I forget where this saying comes from. It's about progress, not perfection. Right. So if you're doing the little things on a daily basis, good things happen over time. Right. So if you're following up with your leads, if you're, I don't know what other examples, if you're eating right, you're going to lose weight. If you're exercising every day, you're on track whether you lost a pound this week or not, because you're doing the right things, right? So business is the same way. Did I do everything I'm supposed to do to give myself the best chance of success?
Yeah, and that's where clarity, your goal was really clear when you did the 75. I mean, yeah. you were already down, so you had clarity, and that's when you knew I wasn't doing, I'm not continuing this. So this is, if we're talking about goals, if you hit your goals in September, you really got to think about that the next year to not set them as low. Because that's, if you're setting them too easy. So, did I do everything I could to make the rest of my year the way I want it to be? I think part of that is if you hit your goal early, you got to set another one, right?
Right. And the same thing though, if you fell short, what little daily tasks could I be doing to help make the rest of the year successful?
Yeah.
Right. What did I drop the ball on that I need to pick it up? Right. Number 6, this is actually a good one. And I do this quite often. How can I deliver more value to more people? Right. So there's 2 different questions and that could be, how do I add more value to my existing clients? Right. So how can I do more? Right. We talk about number of transactions, right? Increase the number of transactions with existing clients, right? How could I do more for my existing clients? That's one way to view it. Or it could be, how can I deliver more value to more people? How can I deliver it to 100 more people, right? I got my little base. How can I do 100 more people? You're a landscaper, and you're going to say, what can I do some special little things to add value to my landscaping clients? But then you might ask yourself, how can I get 100 more landscaping clients, right? So it's, how do I add value to my existing guys? Or you might think of it, how do I get 100 more guys that I add value to? So what do you think of that?
Well, I think exactly what I really look at is the golden rule, right? Do unto others. Well, if you'll look at opportunities to just add value to others, you could lead with, if you can just add value to others without the thought of reciprocation, what will actually happen is it will come back to you tenfold, because if that's the nature of your person, you as a human being, that I'm just going to give value all the time, regardless of what it does for me.
Right. There's a guy that I'm following, Carl Bryant, Carl Bryant, maybe, coach guru and that kind of stuff. And he says, you don't have a client problem. You have a failure to give people value before you're paid problem. In other words, kind of the karma thing. If you help as many people, even if you helped them for free, paying clients are going to come around your way, right? Whether it be that person you actually gave the value to, or whether it be that person referred you to, or whether it just be karma works out. So you don't have a lack of client problem. You have a lack of helping people before they can pay you problem.
It's a long sentence, but it's very true.
It's an interesting twist. All right. Number 7, this goes back to kind of, we talked about before. Number 7, what 3 items could I delegate over the next 90 days? So again, we've talked about this before. We all have the same amount of time. I got the same amount of time as you, as Elon Musk, right? We all have the same amount of time. So we need to talk about what are our A, B, and C activities, right? Our A+ activities is what I call them. Our A+ activities are money-making activities that only you can do, right? That's probably talking to clients, talking to prospects. That's talking to center of influence that can send you clients, right? Whatever it is that your A+ activities are that make you the money. But the C activities are the stuff we got to delegate. We're still answering our phone. We're still checking our email 6 times a day. We're still responding to emails. We're looking for the lost order. We're looking for the lost shipment, right? I actually do this every quarter, where I kind of take my own activity inventory, and we're all doing 80-20, right? Only 20% of our activities lead to 80% of our results. Those 20% are really our A+ stuff. Every quarter, I kind of go through this and say, all right, what are some of those C stuff that I need to get rid of?
Yeah, precisely. And I'm glad you brought up 80-20, because on the other side of the goal setting thing, what I like I said earlier, I set goals in basically, mind, body, spirit, relationships, money, and in all those areas, I try to get an 80% score. So I get 2 points per. Okay. So you got to hit 8 a day. And if you hit those 8 every day, you're going to be, mindset. So it's the opposite of the 80-20 rule. It's like, I can let 20%, I don't have to be perfect, but I got to hit 80.
Right.
And
right.
There are days when I don't. There are days when certainly I don't, but you want to hit, and that's what, so the 80-20 rule is, it's true, 20% of your activities, you can't outsource your exercise.
Right.
I would if I could. I can promise you that. So
right, that's exactly right. And the last one, question number 8 is, and this goes back, is my head in the game? Is my head in the game? A simple way of asking that is my mindset. We talked about mindset before. Is your mindset straight, right? Am I reading the right books? Am I hanging out with the right people? What's that saying? You are the 5 people you hang out with, yes. Right? So if you hang out with the negative Nellies and the guys that are always telling you it's impossible, the guys that are bitching and moaning about their business, about their life, that's not good for you, right? So is your mindset right? Do you believe you can do it? Do you believe there's a way to do it, right? Oh, woe is me, all those kind of people, right? The Tony Robbins we talked about before. You are the stories you tell yourself, right? Mm-hmm. So is your mind in the game? Is your mindset straight?
Yeah, and that's why it's not just, I want to say this about social media. So many people get involved in these negative, and I'm guilty too, negative things online where you're involved, like in maybe an argument over politics,
sure.
or something. And there's nothing ever good. You will not convince somebody online that they're an idiot. It's just not going to happen. You can try. I have.
Right.
This never works out.
It's just a waste of your time and your energy.
So you got to protect your mind. You know, the most important things you have is between your two ears, you know, and you got to protect the mind from activities that detract from your goals. And so that is part of measuring what, you know, did I make my mind better or worse by being involved in whatever this is?
Right.
So that means coaching. That means, so I'm going to use it like, let's say you want to sign up for your 15th online training program this month.
Right.
You didn't finish the last 14, but you're going to sign up for your 15th one. Is that going to enhance your mindset or detract? It's probably going to detract if you didn't finish the last 14.
Right. So maybe the goal would be implement one of the last courses that I took, right? I would tell you
earlier that 3 things a quarter. Keep quantity down.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. So what I would say would go back to the previous 7 questions we just talked about and pick 3 of them and let's implement them. Write them on a sticky note, put them on your computer, put them on your cell phone, wherever you're going to see it on a daily basis. And what are the 3 things from the above questions that I'm going to implement in the next 90 days to make sure I'm successful? Right. So it might be, might be implementing a consistent daily lead generation system, a consistent daily follow-up past leads, right? Something like that would be a simple process. It's a yes or no question. Am I doing it or am I not doing it? Right. And am I following up with it? Right. It might be, like we said, who can I get to help me? Right. Is that a coach? Is that a mentor? Is that somebody who could do some of the stuff that I don't want to do, or someone who can free up my time so I can do more A+ activities? That could be, there's 2 of the 3 things you could do right there that would improve your everything, right? It would improve your likelihood of success, probably improve your mood because you know you're doing something that's what you're supposed to be doing in the right direction, right? So is your head in the game? Is your mindset straight? Are you hanging out with the right people? Are you feeding your brain? Are you listening to good podcasts, you know, like our podcast?
You should listen
there are other podcasts out there. Yeah, there are other podcasts out there too. And then just pick 3 things and let's start. Are we doing them? Right? It's a simple kind of question. So whatever you're doing, you know, don't fail to give yourself the chance, right? This is an easy little checklist. There's some other questions, obviously, but it's an easy little checklist. Just run through it. What's working? What isn't working? Did I get my goals? Didn't I get my goals? Who can help me do this above or below me? What's staring me in the face that I should be doing that I just haven't done because I didn't have the time or the resources to do it, right? I think it's a great checkup.
Oh, it is, and again, it starts with honesty. If you're gonna ask yourself questions, you've got to be honest with yourself about the answers, and that usually starts with, you know, when my kids were young and they were telling me a tall tale, I would send them to their bathroom. I would say, "Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to your bathroom, and I want you to stare yourself in the mirror. And when you can convince that person, you come back and convince."
That's pretty good. Right.
I said it to my kids all the time. If I start doing it now, they're like, "Dad, I know." I know.
That's the epitome of quit lying to yourself.
Yeah. Well, that was an expression I used to. They're older now. They're adults. But on occasion, I still do use that same.
Well, so I have something along there too with the girls that are, you know, whether it be grades or sports, and I'm all about who does it know? Tony Horton, one of the guys, the P90X guy. Do your best and forget the rest. Do your best and forget the rest. So I always tell the girls, whether it's grades, you know, if I was terrible at French back when I was in high school, right? So I was a C student in French. I'm like an A student in everything else, right? But that's just what was best that was the best I got. That's the best I got, you know. If I myself or tell them.
Break it up. Hang on a second, Matt. Just hold 1 second till you're.
Yeah, almost.
All right.
All right, there we're back. Yeah, so I was saying that, for me, French, I was terrible in high school French, right? That's literally that's the best I got. That's all I got, man. I'm an A student everywhere else, but for some reason, foreign language is just foreign to me and I don't get it, but I'm going to do my best. And if my best is a C, then that's just what it is, right? But if you tell me that that wasn't your best and you made the C, then I'm a little upset, right? That, did you give yourself the best opportunity? And nowadays, I'm just using school as the example. So I'll tell my girls, hey, do your best, forget the rest. Tony Horton, right? If your best is a C or a B, that is fine with me. But like you said, you have to tell me, look me in the eye, look yourself in the eye and tell me, was that the best you could do? Did you get a tutor? Did you go to ask the teacher for extra help? Did you ask your friends for extra help? Did you do a study group? Did you screw off doing the study group? Right? If you can answer yes, that you did your best and that's the best we got, I'm totally fine with that. Right? And that's what we're saying here in the business world, right? What's your 90-day goals? Are you doing your best you got? And most of the time, we know where we're slacking off. We know where the opportunities are. We know what we should be doing. And so now let's just tell the truth to ourselves, right? And say, well, here's the things I should be doing if I had the time and resources. Well, now that we know the things we should be doing, let's pick 3 of them and make them happen.
Yeah, if you stop lying to yourself, we go to the opposite end of this. Not just be honest with yourself. If you stop lying to yourself, you'll change your life.
Right.
Because when you stop lying to yourself, you're not going to lie to anybody else. And first of all, because you'll never believe it. When you start calling yourself out on your own bull crap, I've done it. I've been like, really?
Right.
It sounds like an excuse to me, Dave. I'm saying that to myself. I'm like, that sounds like you just made an excuse of why you.
We have these discussions too, in that it can talk about the stories, and we always have these million excuses. And I've had this philosophy for a long time, maybe my whole life, where it's like, I don't care how I got here or what my excuse was. I just care how I fix it tomorrow, right? So I don't care if I'm overweight, I'm overweight. Oh, woe is me, or whatever. If my business is suffering, it's my fault. It's because of me. I don't care whose fault it is, truthfully, right? But what I do care about is how do I fix it, right? That's the telling your truth part. I don't really even care how I got here, right? I care how do I fix it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm here, so where do I go from here?
Where do I go from here, right? So, and you could do that a lot with business. You do that with relationships. You could do that with a lot of things. It's like, look, we could play the name game and pointing game. I'm a victim of my circumstances. The business is hurting because of the economy. Business is hurting because of the competition. Whatever excuse, that's just a story you're telling yourself, right?
And if your story right now is, I'm wealthy because the economy is good, well, you're headed for disaster. We don't know when, but it will change. Right, and if that's your story, is I'm wealthy because the economy is good, well, what are you going to say to yourself when the economy is not good?
Right. I would say that you know what you should be doing. I was talking to a financial advisor this morning, potential coaching client of mine. And, what does he want? He wants more clients, right? He wants more clients. So what does he need? More opportunities, more conversions, right? That's the truth. Truth of the matter is, I don't why or when or so-and-so isn't working, whatever. Truth is, you got enough clients? No. What would you like? More clients. Okay. Start with the truth. How are we going to get more clients? Let's come up with a way. We always talk about, remember, attract, deliver, and scale.
Sure.
All right. So it sounds like where you're hurting is, how do I attract new clients? That comes into your copywriting, and you talk about all that. That might have been his 8 questions. So his goal for the next 90 days should be, how am I going to attract new clients? Right. And we talk about target marketing and messaging and lead magnets and all that stuff, but it's still the same. Those might be his 3 goals for the next 90 days, right? How do I attract clients? But they got to tell the truth. I don't give a crap why you don't have enough clients. Just, you want more clients? You don't have enough? How are we going to fix it?
This is perfect. Well, Matt, 52, we did a year.
Congratulations, my friend.
Congratulations to you as well. We are live. You can find us at profitabilitymd.com.
So we got a new website. It's going.
All of our
past episodes
are up there, I believe. I know there's a whole list of them. I haven't gone through to check if each one's there, but we'd love to hear from you. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcast or Stitcher or Spotify.
My daughter's on Spotify. Oh, this was funny. It says somehow, and I don't know, On our website, it says we have 1,100 subscribers. So I don't know what that means, but that's a good thing. Did you even see that? Yeah, the bottom corner of our thing, it says 1,100 people have seen our episodes or something like that.
Well, there you go.
There you go. We're becoming popular. Word of mouth.
Well, that's pretty awesome. So
that's pretty good. All right. So let's see. Matt Hudgens, LinkedIn. There's an article that on the LinkedIn called 8 Questions Every Business Owner Should Ask Themselves Every 90 Days. We could probably put a link to that on our website or however. We'll do something like that. Maybe
we'll put that on the YouTube channel. There'll be a link in the show notes. We'll I don't know how the whole thing updates, but there'll be a link in the
show notes,
and then because now we have a website, we'll start having show
notes or something, or show little comments. We'll figure out something. All right. And then my 10X Profit Blueprint, 10xprofitblueprint.com is my coaching website where you get some good resources over there. Where do we find Dave Mulvaney?
Find me at davidmulvaney.com. And look, if you're struggling in business and you need some help, reach out to us. Tell us your biggest obstacle you're facing, and we can do a 3-way call offline, just, not recorded, and we'll see if we can help guide you through it, because that's what we do. And if there's some synergy, and you want to hire us, I'm not going to, I'll be transparent, but the first call's on us, and we'll get you a business breakthrough. We'll help you find money in your business, $10,000, $15,000, just like that, at the drop of a hat.
That's like a no-brainer, man.
Yeah. So, Matt,
all right, buddy.
Today, we'll talk soon.
All right. See you.
Take care.